It's easy, why dumping on it.
This week's Torah portion comes from Genesis. It is called Lecha, which is to say, go for yourself. It is Genesis chapter 12 through 17, chapter 17. And then the Haftorah is Isaiah chapter 40, verses 27 through chapter 41, verse 16. And then the Brit Hadashah reading is John chapter 8, verses 51 through 58. Here is a calendar so you can see a projection of what this month of October will look like. And then you can see as it follows week to week reading. You start Sunday. A reading from the interlinear Chumash, Parsha Lecha, Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Hashem said to Abram, "Go for yourself from your land, from your relatives, and from the house of your father to the land that I will show you. And I will make you into a nation that is great. I will bless you and make great your name, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and they will be blessed through you, all the families of the earth." So Abram went as had spoken to him Hashem, and with him went Lot. And Abram was of the age of 5 years and 70 years when he went forth from Haran. Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot the son of his brother, and all their possessions that they had amassed, and the souls that they made in Haran, and they went forth to go to the land of Canaan. And they came to the land of Canaan. Passed did Abram into the land as far as the site of Shechem, as far as the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite then was in the land. Hashem appeared to Abram, and he said to your offspring, I will give this land. So he built there an altar to Hashem who appeared to him. He relocated from there to the mountain east of Bethel, and pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. And he built there an altar to Hashem, and he called out in the name of Hashem. Then Abram journeyed on, continuing to journey toward the south. There was a famine in the land, and Abram descended to Egypt to sojourn there, for severe was the famine in the land. And it occurred as he drew close to entering into Egypt, he said to Sarai his wife, "Indeed, now I have known that a woman of beautiful appearance are you, and it shall be that when they will see you, the Egyptians, and they will say, his wife, this is, then they will kill me, while they will keep alive. Say, please, that my sister you are, so that it may go well with me for your sake, and remain alive may my soul on account of you." But it happened at the entry of Abram into Egypt, the Egyptians saw the woman that beautiful was she to the utmost. When see her did the officials of Pharaoh, they praised her as worthy for Pharaoh, and the woman was taken to the place of Pharaoh. And for Abram it went well for her sake, and there belonged to him sheep, cattle, donkeys, slaves, and maidservants, female donkeys, and camels. But Hashem afflicted Pharaoh with plagues that were severe, along with his household, over the matter of Sarai, the wife of Abram. Pharaoh called Abram, and he said, "What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that your wife is she? Why did you say my sister is she, so that I took her from me as a wife? Now here is your wife, take her and go." And command concerning him did Pharaoh to his men, and they sent away him and his wife and all that was his. Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that was his, and Lot with him, toward the south of Canaan. Now Abram was laden to the utmost of livestock, with silver and with gold. He went on his journey from the south until Bethel, until the site where it was there. His tent was at first between Bethel and between Ai, to the site of the altar which he had made there at first, and called out there did Abram in the name of Hashem. Also to Lot, who went with Abram, there were sheep, cattle, and tents. Not able to support them both was the land to enable them to dwell together, for their possessions were too extensive, and they were not able to dwell together. And there was a quarrel between the herdsmen of the livestock of Avram and between the herdsmen of the livestock of Lot, and the Canaanite and the Perizzite at that time were dwelling in the land. And Avram said to Lot, let there not please be strife between me and between you, and between my herdsmen and between your herdsmen, for men who are brothers we are. Is not all the land before you separate? Please from me. If you go left, then I will go right, and if you go right, then I will go left. And Lot raised his eyes and saw the entire plain of the Jordan, that all of it was well irrigated, before Hashem destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of Hashem, like the land of Egypt, coming toward Zoar. And he chose for himself, did Lot, the whole plain of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed from the east, and thus they parted, one person from near his brother. Avram dwelled in the land of Canaan, while Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and he pitched tents as far as Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and sinners towards Hashem exceedingly. Hashem said to Avram, after the parting of Lot from him, raise now your eyes and see from the place where you are there northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land that you see, to you will I give it, and to your descendants forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth, so that if it is possible for a person to count the dust of the earth, then too your offspring will be counted. Arise, walk about in the land through its length and through its breadth, for to you I will give it. And Abram pitched his tent and came and dwelled in the plains of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and he built there an altar to Hashem. Genesis chapter 14, verse 1. And it happened in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goim. And these made war on Bera, king of Sodom, on Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shinbar, king of Zebon, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these had joined at the valley of Siddim, that is now the Sea of Salt. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and 13 years they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him, and struck the Rephaim at Astaroth Karnaim, the Zuzim, and Ham, the Emim, at Shavah Kerithaim, and the Horites in their mountains of Seir, as far as the plain of Paran, which is next to the desert. And then they turned back, and they came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh. They struck all the fields of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who dwell in Hazron Tamar. And go forth did the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, the kings of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which Zeor, and they engaged them in battle in the valley of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of Goim, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against the 5. And now the valley of Siddim was full of pits, and the pits of tar they fled, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they fell there, while the rest to a mountain fled. They seized all the possessions of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their food, and they went away, and they seized Lot and his possessions, the son of the brother of Avram. And they went away, for he was residing in Sodom. Then there came the fugitive, and he told Avram the Ivri, who now was dwelling in the plains of Mamre, the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, and the brother of Aner, they being members of a covenant with Avram. And when Avram heard that taken captive was his brother, he armed his disciples who had been born in his house, 18 and 300, and he pursued them as far as Dan. And his forces were split against them at night, he with his servants, and he struck them, and he pursued them as far as Hobah, which to the north of Damascus. He brought back all the possessions, and also Lot his brother and his possessions he brought back, and also the women and the people. The king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from striking Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, to the valley of Shavah, which is the valley of the king. Meanwhile, Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest unto God, the Most High, and he blessed him and said, Blessed is Avram to God, the Most High, maker of heaven and earth, and blessed is God, the Most High, who has delivered your foes into your hand. And he, Avram, gave him a tenth of everything. The king of Sodom said to Avram, Give me the people, but the possessions take for yourself. Avram said to the king of Sodom, I lift up my hand to Hashem God, the Most High, maker of heaven and earth, if I take from a thread to a lace of a shoe, and if I take from anything that is yours, so that you shall not say it is I who made Avram rich. Aside from me, only that which the young men consumed, and the share of the men who went with me, Anar, Eshcol, and Mamre, they will take their portion. Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these matters, there came the word of Hashem to Avram in a vision, saying, Do not fear, Avram, I am a shield for you. Your reward is very great. And Avram said, O Lord, Hashem Elohim, of what value is that which you give me as long as I go childless, and the one who manages my household is Eleazar of Damascus? Then Avram said, Indeed, to me you have not given an offspring, and indeed the one over my household inherits me. Suddenly the word of Hashem came to him, saying, No, inherit you will this one, but rather he that shall come forth from within you, he will inherit you. And he took him outside, and he said, Gaze now towards the heavens and count the stars, if you are able to count them. And he said to him, So shall be your offspring. And he trusted in Hashem, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. He said to him, I am Hashem, who brought you out of Kasdim to give to you the land to inherit it. And he said, My Lord Hashem Elohim, whereby shall I know that I am to inherit it? And he said to him, Take to me heifers, triple goats, triple rams, triple a turtle dove, and a young dove. And he took to him all these. Then he divided them in the middle, and he placed each one of the pieces facing its counterpart. But of the birds he did not divide. Descended did birds of prey upon the carcasses, and drive them away did Avram. And it happened as the sun was about to set, a deep sleep fell upon Avram, and then a fear, a darkness that was great was falling upon him. And he said to Avram, Know with certainty that aliens shall your offspring be in a land not their own, and they will enslave them, and they will oppress them 400 years. But also the nation that they will serve I shall judge, and after that they will leave with wealth that is great. As for you, you shall come to your ancestors in peace. You shall be buried in an old age that is good. And the fourth generation shall return here, for not yet complete will be the iniquity of the Amorite until then. Then it was that the sun set, and a thick darkness was there, and it was a furnace of smoke, and a torch of fire that passed between these pieces. On that day Hashem made with Avram a covenant, saying, To your descendants have I given the land, from the river of Egypt to the river that is great, the Euphrates River, the land of the Canaanite, the Kenizzite, the Kedemite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Rephaim, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Girgashite, the Jebusite.
It's easy, why? Stomping on it.